Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today we're paying the price for whatever the hell we ended up doing last night as Babaorum, playing as the blue Bengalis, prepares to take on Running, playing as the red Incas. Now you'll notice that a few days ago we did have a matchup of Bengalis, I believe it was versus Aztecs. I came across this game, I figured why the hell not, let's see how the Bengalis handle the Incas. So while the players heard their herdables explore their immediate surroundings and try to go up to feudal and most likely castle as soon as possible, let's take a look at the civ matchup we'll be watching today. It looks like these villagers are worshipping this one sheep, bowing their heads. In any event, the Bengalis an elephant civ through and through. All their elephants get less bonus damage, are more resistant to conversion, and can actually be improved to attack 20% faster, which is amazing when you realize that Bengalis get fully upgraded battle elephants and siege elephants, and their elephant archers also benefit from Parthian tactics. Now, in order to support these slow, easily converted units on the field of battle, their monks do come with a massive +3 armor boost, and their unique unit, the Rata, is perhaps one of the most versatile, but also one of the most hated units in the game. This is a chariot unit that can actually switch between ranged and melee attacks. Now, in order to support their military-industrial complex, every Bengali town center spawns 2 villagers for free when the next age is reached, and their civilian population can actually be upgraded to take up 10% less population space. The way that happens is every single one of these villagers, instead of taking up 1 population space, each of them takes up 0.9. So towards the end of the game, you can use the extra population space to continue booming your economy, to support very expensive battle elephants, for example, or you can just produce a lot more army. Now, in red, we've got Running, playing as the Incas. If you've heard me cast any games about the Incas, you know my opinion is that this is the quintessential counter-civilization. Do you want to counter cavalry? Then go their unique unit, the Kamayuk, a ranged infantry unit that carries an incredibly long spear and comes with a massive attack bonus against cavalry, and potentially very deadly for our Bengali, a +20 attack against elephants. Now, do you want to counter infantry? Then you can go the other unique unit of the Incas, the Slinger. Basically an archer unit that comes with a +10 attack against infantry. Now, is your opponent going archers? Then you can rely as the Inca on your skirmishers, which not only come with extra line of sight, but also get all archery range, blacksmith, and university upgrades, and can actually be upgraded even more to have no minimum range, which actually removes one of the weaknesses, or rather one of the major weaknesses of the skirmisher. Now, to make your army even tankier, the Incas can upgrade their Kamayuks, their Slingers, and their Eagle Warriors to get extra armor, both melee and pierce. Now, in order for the Incas to build a big old military-industrial complex of their own, they start the game with a free llama, which, by the way, doesn't sound like much, but on an open map, not so much useful on a closed map, but on an open map, gives you another unit with which to explore, and once you're done exploring, 100 juicy food points. Now, their buildings also cost 15% less stone. Their houses support 10 population instead of 5, which frees up a lot of wood in the early game, and their villagers are harder to raid because starting in castle, they benefit from all infantry upgrades from the blacksmith, and by the way, they get all infantry upgrades from the blacksmith do the Incas, so potentially an incredibly powerful civilization with which to counter elephants, to counter Ratas. As everyone knows, as I said in the beginning, Rata, one of the most hated units in the game, because literally elite skirmishers basically counter it both in melee form, which is bizarre, and in ranged form. Now, the map we are playing on today is Arena, which, if you've seen my casts before, you know that generally it falls into 3 phases of the game. The first, the players rush up to castle. Once they get to castle, phase 2 begins, where the players basically duke it out over these golden little suckers. I am, of course, talking about the relics. And once all the relics are gathered on the map, all 5, we enter into stage 3, where the players start massing armies, extending themselves out onto the map, and just trying to beat the ever-living snot out of each other. Now, not necessarily every game goes this route, but generally, I find on the whole, if you were a betting man or woman, that would not be a bad bet to take. Both players sitting on 22 villagers, both players going up to 23, 24. Generally, the amount of villagers on Arena where they start going up to feudal. As you can see, red has already banked 500 food. Babaorum a little bit away from 500 himself. And then once the players reach, we'll know. Here's the telltale sign. Once the players go up to feudal, for example, red right now just dumped 500 food, so his it's a little weird thing in Capture Age where when they go up to feudal, I don't think it applies to other ages. I've seen only in feudal where the 500 food disappears from their count, and then it takes like 2 or 3 seconds for the icon to appear. In any event, now we will see whether or not the players, like I said, a telltale sign that they want to go to Fast Castle. We'll see if they continue to grow their stores of food and gold. Yeah, take a look at running. Already has 3 villagers on gold, 266 in food. And whether he decides to build a barracks will tell us if he wants to be aggressive or whether or not he wants to build the marketplace, blacksmith, and I will leave it up to the players. For now, though, take a look. Also, Babaorum is going for the gold, although 1 villager behind his opponent, and also starting to bank up a good amount of food. 800 food, 200 gold, obviously what you need in order to go up to castle. Barracks going up for our red Inca. Okay, so once he hits feudal in 16 seconds, perfectly timed barracks, by the way, it will complete. That's another telltale sign that they want to rush up to castle. Their barracks basically completes the second they go up to castle. Take a look for both players. Also, it's so incredible to watch. Okay, blacksmith market. So we are going less and less aggressive structures. We'll see once this barracks complete. Where are you going, Mr. Second Villager? Not too sure you're necessary. Immediately, what do we have to the south? A market. Immediately next to it, next to the barracks, rather, we have a stable. Okay, not a big surprise here. I expect a few light calves, so we look like we are rushing up. Take a look at their resources. Red already up to castle, going up to castle. Baba already basically has the resources, stopped his gold count at 200, and now should click up any second now that the stable is done. So the standard meta is players start pumping out light cav. In the case of our red Inca, obviously no cavalry available, so we'll be going Eagle Scouts or potentially even Eagle Warriors, and the players start scouting around the map. Let's see, blue has seen, wow, all 5 relics. Red so far doesn't seem like he's been out on the map that much. Has seen 4. Very sour. The last relic literally 1 tile beyond his vision. That is incredibly sour here for red, although we'll see if he ends up caring, if he ends up how many relics ahead behind. Leave it up to the players to see. But now the cavalry is going to probably come out of our Bengali, supported no doubt by perhaps 1 or 2 spearmen. More and more of that happening. I'm noticing in the meta, no longer just pure cavalry on cavalry violence, although in this case obviously not because of the Eagles, and the Mesoamerican Civ does not have cavalry. But there's always some kind of infantry thrown in because your opponent, you know, is going to go cavalry, and so you have to add in some spearmen to counter that. Now we'll see what running decides to do, or what Babaorum decides to do, knowing that his opponent absolutely does not have cavalry, so there's no need for spearmen, perhaps. Or we'll see. Maybe he's just planning on practicing the standard meta and not really deviating too far off the game plan. Let's see if these Eagles... I mean, it looks like they should discover this last relic. We'll see if they do. Up to castle first is running. I expect a monastery to go up immediately. Ark of the Covenant slowly being lowered. And the second blue hits castle, the exact same thing. Not too sure how there are potentially 2 Arks of the Covenant, but that is one of the fun things about games. They have to make little to no sense. Okay, he's starting to move east. I'm invested in this journey of these Eagle Warriors, although why are you exploring parts of the map you've already explored? I guess he's given up on exploring for the relic, and now just wants to make sure that these relics are controlled by him. Cavalry moving out of our Bengali, moving to the south to support this 1 cavalry here, and moving east, no doubt, to keep an eye on some relics. Both players plopping down a second town center. I favor the one for blue here with a bit of extra gold, some wood, a good amount of room for farms, although a little bit exposed in case there's any ranged units out of our Inca here to the northeast of his base. Our Inca plopping down a bit of a more secure location, but really only access to lumber and farms land, not really access to the stone, although not surprising because his resources are not exactly close to the wood line, whereas blue got lucky with this secondary gold pile that he has. For now, though, we've got monks out, we've got They are going to snipe these monks in seconds. I am shocked the monk is not even dead yet, but the Eagle Warrior takes out the scout that killed the monk. So they will both die side by side, enemies in life. The great equalizer death, making them basically friends in the afterlife. Let's see what happens now. We've got 5 military supply out of our blue Bengali, 7 out of our red Inca, who has already lost a monk. Blue, very slow dot moving across the map. Absolutely distracting red here. 7 Eagle Warriors being distracted by 3 scout cavalry. A brilliant move here out of our blue Bengali. And I wonder if red notices that the red dot that the white dot that used to be on the map has now disappeared. And we'll see what he decides to do. More and more little fights here. 2 kills. I see another blue body decaying into the ground. Okay, it looks like there's another relic that's been gathered here by blue. So fantastic. Blue is taking 2 relics to none lead. His monks very active. I mean, naturally, the Bengalis have an advantage in terms of scouting. Their unit moves look at a 1.55 versus a 1.1 of the Eagle. Although really it's just a matter of unfortunate scouting here for red. As I said, take a look at this. How disgusting is that? 1 tile away from his vision. Now he's not even going to see that it's been teefed. 1 more town center for every single player. Okay, not a bad location. Gets access to this stone. Nice and secure if the blue Bengali decides to make any kind of incursion into his base. Babaorum taking the relics very close to his base, leaving the ones closer to red's base for him to take, I guess. And now we've got an Incan monk bringing home a relic. So we are literally 3 relics to 1 at the moment, assuming these 2 monks make it home. Blue, very cautious, very, very cautious, moving his monk to the extremities of the map. For some reason, pausing. Why are you pausing? Go home. Keep going. What does he see that's making him pause? I don't know. Maybe just not paying attention to 1 monk. A 4th town center for our Incan. A 4th town center for our Bengali. This monk still hanging out in nature. And now we've got the last relic being contested. A lot of Eagle Warriors should be able to shoo away these Bengali scouts. But unfortunately for red, 3 scouts can outrun and outmaneuver these Eagle Warriors, which means he should not be sending out his last remaining monk. I don't think this is a good move for red. Needs to clear up those scout cavalry, or at least create some kind of corridor of Eagle Warriors. This monk's still just hanging out. Okay. Blue monk. Oh, this is blue's plan. I don't know if this is going to succeed. This is he's going to have to thread the needle incredibly well. Let's see. Red's vision notices the monk, immediately runs to attack it. This monk is not long for this world. 1, 2, 3 pokes and prods. Remember, monk +8 attack bonus for our Incan rather. The problem for him is this relic, even though it's so damn close to his base, these 2 scout cavalry can easily snipe a monk. Okay, finally the monk is heading home for blue here, but Babaorum has to be super duper careful. He is investing a lot of micro. Red would do well to just surround these this monk with eagles, although now finally the last second last scout cavalry does fall, so now the relic is safe. So okay, so we got 3-2 relics in favor of our Bengali. In the meantime, let's take a look at their economies as the players separate for a brief moment before what I hope is going to be a giant clash between them. 77 villagers for our blue Bengali. Army supply non-existent. 1 very poor health scout cav and 2 monks. Our red Inca, 9 villagers behind, although Babaorum is supply blocked. He's housed at 85, so needs to take a second to build a few more houses. Running our red Inca down 7 villagers now, but up 10 military supply. Moving out onto the map, he's got a bunch of eagles. These look like still their scouts. No upgrades on them at the moment. No attack, no defense, no nothing. But a siege workshop, we'll see what that's for, whether it's a battering ram, a mangonel, how he intends to batter down these Bengali walls. How many eagles are there here? 12 eagles, more red dots moving across the monk. The 13th eagle, the 13th warrior, let's call him. What an absolute fantastic movie. We've got a siege tower. Okay. So red, realizing that he's got a, I guess they're suspecting, because obviously he doesn't realize because he doesn't have our vision of the map, suspecting he's got a pretty good military lead. is trying to penetrate the juicy insides of this Bengali base. Our Bengali, 14 villagers on stone compared to 9, using that villager lead. Oh, here we go. And the eagles are in. The monks are basically going to die incredibly fast. I say that they take their time. Okay, add some more eagles in there as well. A major last-minute defensive castle going up for our blue Bengali. Town centers firing left, right, and center. These eagles, again, no upgrades. They are just scouts, or rather, now there's finally a defensive upgrade on them, and in 45 seconds, there will be a +2 defensive upgrade. More eagles inside the base. This siege tower basically doing what it was made to do. And now what is red going to do? Military supply very much in favor. Babaorum is he rebuilding the continuing to build the castle? Yes, he is. And he's also now 1 minute and 50 seconds away from Imperial. His opponent has the food, does not have the gold though. Only 12 villagers on gold for our red Inca. Might want to get those numbers up. Yeah, he's building another mining camp. He knows he has to get to Imperial before his opponent. Otherwise, Trebs will come out, and this entire center location is going to be basically nullified by him. But Eagle Scouts, not exactly the greatest. 4 Pierce armor, nothing to really write home about. Okay, Blue coming out with the Rata. Let's see if he goes melee or range. For now, just hanging out on the ranged mode function. More coming out. These eagles need to stay away. Our elephants are out as well. 250 HP of eagle killing power. And now these eagles, again, not warriors, not even elite, are going to die to this castle. They are not exactly the strongest against castle. Siege tower has to back up. But what is red doing here? Red is building his own tower, rather own castle. Sorry, guys. Sometimes when I'm looking at this unit and then I look very quickly, the old brain doesn't transfer the words as fast. I know that makes me sound absolutely stupid, but it does happen sometimes. Castle very defensively to protect the stone. I wonder if Babaorum is planning to just ring this entire map with castles and start pumping out Ratas. We'll see if that's the right move. Not sure at the moment. And now he has the villager lead by 5. Military supply, though, not that great for either player. 4 against 9. Bloodlines, light cav upgrade, forging, conscription. He wants to produce mounted units, and he wants to produce them fast. He wants them to hit hard, and he wants them to basically sweep over this red center position, which he seen? He has absolutely not seen that position, but this one elephant with a very terrible range and line of sight, rather not range, is going to discover it very quickly now. Villagers moving south, they are going to mine some contested gold here. But red, making himself at home. Not exactly the most condensed base of attack here, but lots and lots of barracks. 5 going up for him in the center position. No doubt he's going to start spamming eagles, which are now, you can tell by the shield that they're holding, are now warriors. Okay, pikeman upgrade. Not a bad upgrade to get when your opponent is going big old chunky boys. And now both players are in Imperial. This is stage 3 of the game, by the way. Remember, stage 1, get up to castle. Stage 2, get all the relics. And stage 3, build big ol' armies and just fight each other all the live long day. These Ratas need to be upgraded. One of the unfortunate things about the Rata, now I'm not really a hater. There's, again, Rata is probably the single most hated unit of Age of Empires 2. And look, I understand it. The cost, I think Spirit of the Law did a video where he goes through the costs to upgrade the Rata to its full potential. An elite Rata with all the upgrades. We did not see, but apparently our Incan monk got the convert on a Rata. So now we've got an Incan chariot unit. Not something you see every day. But yeah, the cost of upgrading these guys to their full potential is just prohibitive. And that's why, a lot of people don't like it, but mostly people don't like it because of this. Take a look at this. It has archer armor, cavalry armor, and cavalry archer armor, and unique unit armor, which means it basically dies to quite a lot of very cheap trash units. I love what our Blue Bengali is doing here, leading these eagles on a merry chase while the castle just takes its time to shoot arrows at them. Brilliant play here out of blue to help nullify that military lead that red is sitting on. More barracks? No, there's just the original 5. No, there's the original 5. I think he lost one here. You built it to the south, but his castle is up. He's got a treb. Blue with a treb slowly. Okay, good. Not a bad idea. Remove your opponent's vision by attacking their outposts, but take a look at this. Running knows exactly what's happening to the south of his opponent's base. He knows there's a castle here. Okay, the parties have disengaged. Let's take a look at their bases in the meantime, see what we're working with. 153 villagers for our Inca, 155 for our Bengali. I don't know, this might be a little bit of overkill from both players, but I guess they're in resource gathering mode at the moment. And let's see if running, remember, as I said in the beginning, the Incan skirmisher, which again is the bane, the absolute bane of the Rata unit, with Andy and Sling, no minimum range, the extra line of sight, all the upgrades from all those structures. So I'm surprised that running, I don't see any, what is he getting? Fabric shields. Okay, so take a look in 3 seconds at the armor. +4, +6. That is the power of the fabric shields upgrade for the Incas. Now we've got siege rams, not your basic rams. These are siege rams with 195 pierce armor. Halberdiers, eagles moving in to take on Ratas, elephants and support. Elephants probably should be in the front. Who's kidding who? And now we've got a big old battle here. This is exactly what we wanted to see in stage 3. I think blue takes this quite handily. I think a lot of players sometimes overestimate their halberdiers against elephant units, because halberdiers just do so well against things like cavaliers and certain unique cavalry units and even maybe paladins, but none of those units come with 320 HP. So if you watched some of the deathmatch live streams that we've been doing this past week, there have been a lot of Persian war elephants, especially elite, with 620 HP. Absolutely bonkers. Can take wave after wave after wave of halberdiers to cheeky blue villagers now trying to do to red what red has done to blue, ringing the northern portion of the map with outposts. Okay, final attack upgrade for the elephants, the chonky boys, to make them a give them rather a +4 attack. But military count has stabilized both players basically at 200 population. I am absolutely surprised here. Running down 20 villagers. Did he delete villagers? I don't remember seeing villagers die here, but I might be wrong. No, I am absolutely not wrong. Take a look. Babaorum has only killed 2 villagers. Although now the pike swarming over these beleaguered and bruised and battered blue elephants. I did not mean to make that so alliterative. These Ratas have to retreat. Blue now potentially sacrificing some of his villagers. Yeah, Babaorum has only killed 2 of Red's villagers, but somehow Red's villager count is down 20, so he must have deleted it to make room for army supply. Blue taking an absolute terrible fight here. Even if he wins this, the HP on these elephants is going to be so low that the next wave of trash is just going to swarm over them. Remember, Age of Empires, it doesn't matter only how well you take a battle, but how well you can deal with whatever comes next. In this case, 7 fully upgraded elite eagle warriors backed up by a bunch of fully upgraded halberdiers. See, blue is holding his ground, but take a look at the HP on the elephants. It's down 1,200 already. In exchange for what? A few trash units from his opponent. Okay, a cheeky stable here. Interesting, with the camel instead of the elephant for the Bengalis. I thought their stable had the elephant in it, but that might be that I might be thinking of a different civ. Okay, parties have disengaged. There's a big old chunk of siege moving forward, but where's the backup? There it is. Let's zoom out. Pike, rather halberdier to the south. Eagles moving north. Castle canceled. Villagers holding gold nuggets. Look at this heart-shaped mining camp over here. Halberdiers moving forward. Ratas trying their best to pick off as many halbs as possible. But this is 33 halberdiers. Blue needs to disengage. Or maybe he doesn't. He's got 19 elephants backed up by Ratas. Maybe he didn't need to disengage. Again, like I said, people very much overestimate halberdiers versus elephants, although he looks like he engaged so he could try to catch these eagle warriors. His castle should absolutely fall, right? There's no way this thing is staying up, even with this many villagers repairing it. Babaorum has enough stone almost for 2 castles. There's no way that castle... Okay, plops down 1 castle. Red sees it. Red immediately pivots. This is terrible for blue here. Big mistake to build this castle here. Right as red was retreating with these tanky units. Cancels it. Gets a bit of the stone back. I don't think he got all the stone back. Now the eagles are in here. The elephants slowly... I mean, you're chasing the fastest infantry unit in the game with one of the slowest mounted units in the game. Not exactly a recipe for a quick conflict resolution. In any event, good news for Baba is he's mined almost all of this gold to this patch here to the south. Now he can build a castle. Red moving forward with a very aggressive castle. Running, winning. Babaorum deciding, you know what? I just can't put up any kind of defense. I'm down 2/3 army supply. You've penetrated my base. You've basically seen everything. Take a look at Red's vision. He's seen everything. He knows what blue is about to do. Blue is, I guess, did he pump out the elephant from here? I'm going to rewind for a quick second. I want to see where this elephant came from. Getting a bunch of kills, by the way. Yeah, it looks like he did come out of that stable. Let's see how many kills he got at the end. Insert the Benny Hill music. Okay, 8 kills, 9 kills for the elephant before the GG. Wow, what a fun game. So Bengalis falling to the Incas. Maybe I'll try to find a Bengali versus Mayan battle. We'll see how they fare against that Mesoamerican civ. But we've seen Bengali Aztecs with the Eagle Warriors that have the juicy Garland War attack upgrade. Now we've seen the Incas with the juicy upgrades for defense. Where are those eagles? The +1, +2 defense added to melee and pierce. I think Baba here could have probably taken a good fight, but take a look at the HP. He's down 25% of his HP. So like I said, halberdiers may not kill the elephants in the first wave of attack, but definitely the follow-up, maybe the second or even the third, will definitely be able to decimate. Looks like a bunch of ratas died here as well. And I think what ultimately made the decision for blue to quit is that he was a little bit too gung-ho about building this castle here, a little bit too excited. Did not wait until these rams disappeared, and then the second he plopped down the castle, red noticed, running, of course, seeing everything on this battlefield as a player with a good amount of Elos should. And now that castle goes down, canceled. Blue has enough stone for 1 more castle, but what's the point? You have now been pushed back to the insides of your base. And I'm sure he's had vision. I mean, he sees the villagers coming forward. He obviously hasn't seen the castle just because it hasn't gone up yet, but he sees villagers moving forward. That mining camp shows him that these villagers are moving forward. 278 kills for our blue Bengali, 159 for our red Incas. Not a surprise there with the ratas, the ranged units. I mean, they all must have a good amount of kill. No, they don't, actually. Maybe the earlier ones did. But when you're the one throwing away halberdiers and eagle warriors, you expect to be the one who had more losses in terms of body count. 84 battle elephants, 206 halberdiers. This is a good ratio. Remember, these aren't Vietnamese pothead elephants with 420 HP. These are just standard elephants with 320. And let's take a look and see whether relics played any kind of role in this. Only 800 gold difference between the parties. Our Bengali mining basically more of everything except for wood. Now, you might look at this and say, was that entire Castle Age stage 2 of the game really that necessary? How much micro, how much time spent, how many resources, gold on monks, food on scouts, eagle warriors up the wazoo, all for only a measly 800 gold? I leave that up to you to decide. I mean, the game could have lasted another 40 minutes. That difference in gold between the relics would have been much, much higher, but it did not. It lasted 43 minutes. Our red Inca swarming over these blue elephants, these blue ratas have failed. And every time I cast a Bengali game that has ratas where the Bengalis don't win, I shudder to think how much more cannon fodder I'm giving, or rather just fodder I'm giving to all the haters out there who say, see, the Bengalis need to be removed from the game. This chariot unit needs to be gone, blah, blah, blah. But in any event, running taking control of the center with no fewer than 13, a baker's dozen barracks, a castle, no Kamayuks out of him, which would have done well against the elephants. Remember, plus 20 attack. Instead, deciding to go pure halberdier, elite eagle warrior. Can tell by their shields. And he just swarms over his opponent. The Babaorum has no response to these guys. Ratas are not going to kill them. Elephants are not going to be able to close the distance with halberdiers in between them. And so Babaorum sees the writing on the wall, sees that he's being compressed into his base, has placed a few defensive external castles on the extremities, but has not protected this juicy center attack position, or rather for him, a defense position. Taps out to live to fight another day, and running, despite having a slightly lower score, has overwhelmed his opponent, taken the W, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.